rust. Add that to the job. It's rotten. It's rotten. More rot. Hello and welcome to this video. I'm Marcus Hayes and today is a huge day for Maude, my MOREDOOR Mk2 Escort, because today I'm finally taking her to have the welding work done on her front end. I'm going to see a guy called KEMBER who runs a fab shop called Clump Fab. As well as rust repair, restoration and fabrication, Clump Fab also take on jobs on engines such as head skims, valve relapping. They can also resurface and deck your block. So it's clear that Chris is a very talented bloke, and one thing that really stood out to me when I went to see him about the work on Maude is how positive he is about it. He was like, yeah, don't worry, I know how these cars go together, you know, they're not complicated, no problem at all, you know, if there is anything extra that crops up, you know, I'll let you know. And yeah, he was just really positive about it. Also, Clump Fab is quite a new business, so I admire the way that Chris has managed to keep the business afloat during these weird times we're going through at the moment. Clump Fab is based in Cambridgeshire in a place called Warboys. I will leave the details in the description of this video. I'll also leave a link to Clump Fab's Facebook page. If you could all go on there and give the page a like, I'd really appreciate it. Now, as you'll know if you've been watching my videos, at the moment Maude is being stored up in Northampton where my parents live. So the first job this morning is to head up there and pick her up. Good to see Maude is still here and she hasn't turned into a pile of rust. Will she start? That's the question. I did have the battery disconnected while it's being stored here anyway, so should be all right. It's good to be back in Maude's driver's seat, but I'd forgotten how noisy this clutch was. It's so annoying. Just have to ride the clutch everywhere. Although the clutch rattle is nowhere near as annoying as the racket those repair panels are making in the back. Can I have a £1/4 mil with a water, please? Alright, so I'm here at Clump Fab with KEMBER, the owner, and his dog Loki. Welcome to the channel. Thanks for agreeing to work on this old banger. Now, I've got all the panels laid out here that I got from Escort Tech. Just to quickly recap, basically we're going to be cutting the whole front end off, so both front wings are going to get replaced. I've bought the wing rails as well, the front panel, and then the sort of inner front panel, which is made up of the radiator supports, and there's a lower cross member down there, and then obviously the slam panel here. While we're at it, we're going to weld in some RS2000 strengthening pieces. So they go something like that. And then these ones go behind the wing, basically, on the inner wing. Before we start stripping Maude down, I think we'll have a look around the Clump Fab workshop. So obviously, got a ramp here. We'll be sticking Maude on there in a minute. But as you can see, Chris has got a wide array of fabrication tools that I know nothing about. That's a metal bender, right?
Folder, yeah, it's quite old. So yeah, that bends sheet metal sort of thing.
Right. And over here, you were saying this is a pipe bender, right?
Yes, this is a tube bender, so you can make all basically tube bends and stuff.
Yep.
You've got low down here sort of stuff. So
cool.
Formers and followers to bend them. So I'll do a little bit of tube work. I'm hoping to get into roll cages at a later date.
And then over here, this is a lathe, right?
That's a lathe, yeah. So basically, I can just make whatever I need to make rather than send it off. or saves me time more than anything.
Over here,
That is a milling
machine.
machine I use for skimming cylinder heads and stuff.
I was reading on your Facebook page you do skimming cylinder heads, valve relapping, you know, decking blocks.
Pretty much anything like
Yeah,
that.
crack testing cylinder heads as well.
Yeah.
Chris started this business relatively recently,
Yeah.
and as you can see already, he's, you know, geared up to do a wide array of jobs. You were saying you do banded steels, obviously, yeah?
There's some slip rollers which I use on the band
To make the sort of band into a... Yeah. Oh, that's cool, man. And you've got a bit of a tool upstairs. I thought this was pretty cool when you showed it to me last time.
I've actually adapted it now. So basically, you put your wheel on here. It's like an old tyre balancing machine.
Yeah.
This is like bang on true. You can adjust it and do it up where you want it and just spin the wheel to cut it.
Alright, cool, yeah.
Once that's all cut off, you make your band as usual.
Yeah.
Put it all back in and weld it. And to weld it, I've put a rotary table, which I've had to sort of make a few homemade things to gear it down.
Yeah.
Then I can pretty much just use a foot pedal, let it turn while I weld it.
So basically it'll be turning
That's it.
automatically.
Yeah.
And you just
And it
hold
just
the
gives
welder
a
there.
more consistent weld, if you like.
I think that's really cool. Yeah, and then it's got loads of storage up here. I can see a cheeky little pillar drill. I could do with one of them, but I don't have power in any of my garages. What's this thing over here?
That's an old compressor, that is.
Oh, okay. Right, so I suppose it's time now to get moored onto the ramp. Right, so we've moored up in the air. I suppose the first job is like to remove the lights and the bumper and stuff, I suppose. Maud's front end is looking a bit naked. Chris is just in there starting to undo the bolts that hold the wing to the car. No massive holes anywhere so far. Yeah, some of the bolts are literally buried beneath the undersill, so could just cut the wings off. Be more fun, wouldn't it? I'm just glad you're able to hit all that undersill without like panels falling off the car. Just drop her down now so that I can drain the coolant out the radiator. Just gonna undo the bottom radiator hose.
How many times have you had the engine out of this then?
So many times. All the grief I've had with clutches and gearboxes. Just had a bit of a mission getting all these wires out from where they were. Obviously don't want them near where Chris is going to be cutting and welding. Got the bonnet cable out of the way. I'm just going to remove the horn now. Right, so Maude is now at the point where it's time to start cutting things off, which is the fun bit. And I actually bought a brand new reciprocating saw yesterday from Tool Station. Really cheap one, but hopefully this will be up to the job.
Angle grind at the top here. You keeping an area on it, eh?
Nah, can't hear the radio in this car anyway, so. Anyone wants to buy a front wing? Mint condition.
Never cut.
Now we can see the state of what's behind the wing. Oh yeah. Maybe that's where the water was coming in.
Could well be because your water's going to come straight off your wheel into that.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's the first sort of surprise so far. Still happy to continue with the job, right?
Yeah.
One down, one to go. Be able to take that sticker off and put it on the new wing, right?
Yeah, pretty much this whole corner needs redoing.
Add that to the job.
It always grows.
Yeah, no, that's fine, man. We pulled the wings off and there's not a big hole there, like, you know, like sometimes you can peel it off and it's just the rest of the car comes with it. Yeah, so with this kind of thing, you always find unexpected rust to deal with, but so far it's not actually that bad. It's going to need a big patch in there, but you know, it's a flat-ish area, isn't it? It's not like tucked away in like a corner and you've got to cut the whole car away to get to it.
I just cut all the crap out and move it in.
Carefully unpicking and stuff like that, you know, that's where the skill comes in. I would have been all right doing up to now, hacking everything off. And then when you're carefully unpicking bits and trying to save the inner wings and that's where it would have took me weeks. Yeah, so Chris is going to get rid of some of the underseal in here now so he can see what's what. And then he can start finding the spot welds, yeah. We've uncovered some past bodging by me. Originally, obviously, this would have had spot welds going down here, but I just sort of put a few blobs wherever I could. Hopefully it won't be too much grief to get off. Get this bonnet adjuster thing out of the way.
Is that a bit loose? Just got to find all the others now.
It's mad to think that that's all that holds these cars together. Just little spot welds. No, they're my dodgy welds there. So there's probably far too many of them. And
you wouldn't be able to drill them out basically.
No,
so cut round it.
No, that's cool.
I'll have to cut all that off. It's all been welded a bit funny,
Yeah.
Plus that's rusty under there anyway, so I'll carry the whole thing along. Basically cut all the rust out so it's right back to the good metal.
Yeah.
Put that on before you overlap the panels and then weld through it, and then that protects it and saves it anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really time consuming doing all this unpicking and stuff, but two spot welds right next to each other. Yeah, you can really see how delicate and precise you've got to be to carefully unpick these panels. Another Siamese spot weld. Yeah, so the radiator support bit seems like it's disconnected now. I've just got the remainders of this sort of lower cross member bit. I found a previous repair. That wasn't mine. I would have put more welds on it than that. I mean, they could have repaired this with newspaper and filler, so you know, at least they've used metal.
Well, I think I'm going to end up cutting the whole bloody thing out in a minute and just remake the bottom. So that dodgy repair on the corner, that they've welded part of the corner to it.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah, unfortunately, where they've welded this repair section on, they've just obviously welded it to everything in the vicinity, so it's not all pieced together how it would have been in the factory. Hey, in the drink. So this is where we're at on this side, literally just the inner wing left. Plenty of repairs to do on the lips and stuff. Chris was saying that it looks like this side hasn't had any sort of repair bits like the other side did, so this should be a little bit easier. Still a time consuming process nonetheless. Now what I'm going to do is use this little belt sander to get rid of all this seam sealer so that you can find the spot welds on the slam panel. I've been entrusted with the spot weld drill. What could possibly go wrong? Chris has found a little bit more rot. Now this really does need sorting out. That whole bit there is pretty much rotten and it goes all the way up. Might have to order a splash guard panel, I think they call that. Pretty sure that panel's readily available anyway, so. More dodgy welds, but they were me. Underseal's cooking. Right, so Maude's face is officially fully off now. This side was a lot easier than the other side to get that radiator support and that off. As expected, the job grew, but not as bad as it could have been.
It could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, so it's looking good.
Obviously we've still got to cut the wing rails and stuff off.
Yep.
Just get them ready.
I'll see you've cut this side sort of roughly off.
Yeah.
Obviously got a lot of rot to deal with, both sides actually, isn't it? Yeah. I've been entrusted again with the spot weld drill. I haven't even pressed the button on the drill yet and there's a hole in it. I might have missed a couple of spot welds, but when you're trying to chisel it, this bit under here is just falling away anyway, so like, this bit's alright, just everything under there is rotten.
It's all your sealant that's holding it on.
This is rotten. Yeah, it's looking like I'm gonna probably end up getting a pair of these. It's pretty bad. It's gonna be a lot easier for Chris to weld in a new one of these. He's already got to do some repairs before he can even do that, so I think it makes sense to get the actual panels. Yeah, so I'll get on the internet later and see if I can get hold of a pair of these. Hopefully I'll be able to get them without waiting weeks and weeks for delivery, but we'll see. So this is Chris's Cavalier, a one owner 30,000 mile car, and he's actually struggling to find some injectors for this car.
Yeah, they've got like a pressed on rubber hose rather than the usual standard clip-on type, so
right, okay.
Finding is finding impossible. So. Okay.
If anyone has got a set of injectors for one of these Cavaliers, definitely let us know in the comments or get in touch via social media. Alright, so this is where we're at with MOREDOOR, with the whole front end cut off, and now there's obviously a lot of work going into prepping and welding in new metal and stuff, which I won't be around to see happen, but I know Chris is going to send me a load of pictures, which I really appreciate. But yeah, thanks for everything you've done today. Thanks for everything you're about to do. I really appreciate it, and yeah, I can't wait to see how she turns out.
Should be pretty good, to be fair.
Yeah, as I said earlier in the video, definitely check out the Clump Fab Facebook page. I'll leave a link to that in the description of this video. I'll leave Chris's contact details in the description as well, so if you need any work done involving, you know, rust repair and restoration or fabrication, or any of the engine stuff that Chris does as well, yeah, get in touch with him and he'll sort you out. But other than that, I'll see you in a few days or maybe a week. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Yeah. All right, thanks again. I'll see you soon. All right, so later on in the evening, and I've just got back to London. After a quick Google, it's clear to see that those splash guards are available, and they're not that expensive either. I'm going to have a ring round a couple of companies tomorrow and see who can supply these to me the quickest so that I can get them sent to Chris ASAP. They're going to save him a whole lot of fabrication work, and it's going to mean that the job's going to come out a lot better in general. If all of you guys could please go and give Clump Fab a like and a follow on Facebook, I'd really appreciate it. Other than that, I'm going to end this video here. If you did think it was any good, please do give it a thumbs up and a share. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. Click subscribe if you're new and you want to keep up to date with all my future uploads, and check the links in the description to my social media and my email address. But other than that, until next time, thanks for watching.